Hey guys, today we are checking out British inventions that changed the world. I will be completely honest with you guys. As someone from the other side of the world, I have barely heard about any British scientists while growing up. Most of the names that I hear are usually American or German. So this video really got me curious. And before I start, hit that subscribe button because I'm here to learn about UK and if British people really created inventions that shaped the modern world. I'm here to learn about it properly. Let's get into it.
So for this video, I wanted to make a video talking about the top British inventions that no one really realizes are British. I feel like America takes a lot of the glory in terms of inventions, and people don't realize how much Brits did considering how impactful they were on the world, particularly in the Industrial Revolution and all that jazz. So I thought I'd make a video highlighting some of Britain's greatest achievements, and we'll go from there. So these are just some of the ones that I had no idea about. So you might already know these, they might be common knowledge, but coming from a foreigner, these were not common knowledge to me.
I don't know any
I
single
think is
thing.
absolutely no surprise to anyone who's been to England, but the thermo flask. So the flask that you put your tea in.
Wow,
They love tea
okay.
so much they found a way to travel with it, and so that's a British invention, which makes sense. It was invented in 1892 by James someone. I'm not going to be like a history lesson. All you need to know is it was a flask. So yeah, he literally was a scientist and he just wanted to be able to take tea on picnics, which is the most British thing I've ever heard, and I love it.
Yeah, I've heard like you guys actually love tea and you guys have made the life of, all the people around the world so much easier. Really grateful for that invention.
The next invention is the lawnmower, which everyone has. Lawnmower was invented in 1827, and it
She's
was
not doing the
for the
retake, you
affluent who
guys.
have good football and cricket pitches, which is surprising to no one. But then obviously it took off, and there you go. Which makes sense because very British to think of a British garden with a very curated like hedge and like beautiful like flowers. Makes sense. Now this one, if I've got any Americans watching, will be a point of contention, I am sure. But I have my stats to back me up. The light bulb was invented by Thomas.
Thomas
No, it wasn't invented by Thomas
What?
Edison. I got you. It was invented by Joseph Swan in 1880.
What? Isn't Thomas Alva Edison the founder of what? Light bulb? I thought it was either Thomas or it was Nikola Tesla. And I think both of them are Americans. This is crazy. I always thought Thomas was he's called he's called the scientist who invented the bulb.
Beat.
Okay, this is
He
interesting.
started manufacturing.
I don't know if it's true, okay? I can't really trust her. So I'm gonna think that my whole life was a lie if that is true. I want to know from you guys if it's true. This is so amazing.
In
I hope
1880, he had a patent,
this
and
is
at the
true,
time,
okay?
the only real
It just
competition was gas lights, and these
is
were much
amazing that
better
I
for
was
the
learning
people
the
because there
wrong
was no
thing all the
residue, no
time.
smoke, etc. No smell, and they took off, and they only lasted 12 hours. So I have no idea how much they would have cost because that would have been. But yeah, little known fact, not Thomas Edison. That's a good one for like trivia, your pub trivia, and that's who invented the light bulb. And it's a trick question because really it's Joseph Swan. The next one, my personal favorite, is the chocolate bar. It was created in 1847 by Fry and Sons. Before this point, it was only consumed as like a drink, and then they created a mixture where they mix it with sugar and made it more of a solid that would then melt in your mouth, and that was the chocolate bar, which is fascinating. So it was also created in Bristol. So my Bristolians, claim to fame, chocolate, get royalties. Something we've all had at some time in our life is soda water, which was invented by the Brits, specifically Joseph Priestley in 1742. He created soda water. So he created the way to make soda water. However, Mr. Schwepp, whoever of Schweppes, I think we all know, ends up using that method to make carbonated soft drink. And it was a bowl above some beer, and then that makes soda water. There you go. 1876 by Graham Bell, he invented the telephone, the traditional telephone.
Okay, so I've heard of Graham Bell. I didn't know he was actually from UK.
Rather than, our
Is he
traditional
British?
mobile phones have today. I don't know what he would think about that.
I mean, I've heard about him a lot.
Covering off,
He
all
invented
the
the telephone.
inventions, I'd
Yeah,
say, that have transformed the 21st century.
he did
Things like
actually.
phones, phones, light bulbs. We also have the television, which revolutionary, and I didn't know that. I honestly would have thought America invented the TV, but here we are. The TV was invented by John Bard, and it was in 1925. So somehow older, but also not as old as I thought, which is weird. So
The weird thing is, all the useful things are actually being made by British, and we even don't know about that. This is
there's a bit
crazy.
of contention over
Even the
who
chocolate bar, we often use that.
actually invented the TV.
We often eat
However,
that, right?
Jonathan Bard did actually project an image using television type materials
Nice.
first. However, he didn't patent it or protect it in any way, so he couldn't really reap the rewards of his invention. So that's
Okay.
why there's so many different people who took that technology and then tweaked it and made it their own, and then there you go.
Sad. That is so sad.
Next one I think is interesting because of the reputation Brits have for having bad teeth. But did you know that Brits invented the toothbrush? Before he invented the toothbrush,
Another
people were
useful
getting
thing.
salt and soot and putting it on a rag and then brushing their teeth like that. And he was like, I think I got a better way. And so in 1770, he invented a toothbrush, and I cannot thank him more for it.
Yeah.
There's so many inventions for the UK have invented, so like hip replacement, sewage systems, all of like standard day-to-day stuff. But
Oh,
I'm here
nice.
for the interesting ones, like the ones that you wouldn't think of. So, for example, the UK invented hovercrafts. It was by Christopher
Hovercrafts,
Cockwell,
okay.
and he was in 1953, and he just wanted to make his boat go faster, and then he ended up making it hover along the water. So
Wow.
Back to the Future has some thanks to give, I think, to Christopher.
Yeah.
The UK also invented ATMs, something we all use almost every day. It was
I love how she's actually, reading the paper and saying it. She's not a historian, and I get it. So I can't really fully trust her, obvious reasons. But yeah, I want you guys to comment if these all of them are true.
invented in 1967 by Joseph Sharon Barron. Is that it? Shepherd Barron. And he invented ATMs because it was a machine
Another useful thing,
installed
yeah,
outside of Barclays in
which we
1967.
use daily.
However, because we didn't have credit cards yet, you would get a special check and you could insert it and put a pin in, and then it would
Nice.
give you £10 back.
Oh wow,
And then
okay.
obviously it's taken off from there. But I often think before then, because I think they actually, before they came widespread, they didn't come widespread, I think, in Australia until like maybe the 80s, maybe even later. Because my parents would often mention how when they were young, they would have to go to the bank during the week and get their money out for the weekend, and the banks were closed on weekend. So if you didn't have enough money for the weekend, too bad. And I was like, as someone who lives in the 21st century, like, I've got 7 different ways I can pay for something, whether it's Apple Pay, credit cards, cash, a different credit card. There's always some way to buy something now. So the idea that you could have just literally been stuck with no cash is wild. Would have made saving a lot easier because you just can't access your money. So it's like when you're eating healthy and you buy healthy food at the store, and then you get home and then you want to crave snacks, but there aren't any and you can't get any. That's how I feel with the money situation. Is that the weirdest analogy I've ever given? Probably. I've saved the best till last, and I think it's the most impactful thing that's ever happened to the history of mankind, and it's a British invention, so you guys can claim it all your own. It is the World Wide Web. It was invented by Tim
What?
Berners-Lee, and it was almost called Tim, like the internet was almost called Tim, like the World Wide Tim or something.
So World Wide Web is actually invented by a British guy?
So he, in
Ah,
1991, the year I was born, good year, connected a bunch of computers together and created a server, and then created the first ever web page which explained how to set up a website
wow.
and how to use
You
it to
guys are
search things.
genius. I have to admit
So
that
without
now.
that, the entire world would be different. And
Yeah,
he gave
he's the
away
game
that
changer,
invention
obviously.
for free. I don't think he's gotten any reward from it. He didn't pay anyone to use it. It was free domain, which is amazing. That would never happen now. Without him, you wouldn't be watching this video. You wouldn't know who I am. It's wild how much that's changed. So those were just some of my favourite British inventions that I had no idea about. Some of them make complete sense, like the thermoflask and that, but things like the internet, I think people don't give enough credit to the UK for inventing, because let's be honest, Brits don't like to blow their own trumpet, and they really should sometimes. You guys do have a lot to offer. You should be bragging more. America's getting all the brags in.
I would have bragged so much in
But
the
that's it for this
internet
video. I
if
thought I'd just do a quick
I
little fun
was a
one.
British guy.
Just something random. I fell down the internet again.
You guys are
Down a
really
random
down to
click
earth.
hole. So here we are.
Or maybe you guys
Anyways.
even didn't know that you guys invented
So if
all
you
of
enjoyed this
this.
video, give it a
Maybe.
thumbs up and remember to hit subscribe so I can see you next time.
Sure.
Let me know in the
I think I'm gonna subscribe her right now. Let's do it in front of you guys. And yeah, now I'm gonna tell you this. All right. I had no idea how many world-changing inventions actually came out of Britain. And this modern life, I have to admit that this modern life is actually built on ideas from the British guys, centuries ago. We were not exposed to this. Why? Why are you guys not so famous? It really shows how history and education, seep what we're exposed to. We didn't hear certain names growing up in the UK, and we didn't think, okay, British actually didn't invent anything. We thought like that, but yeah, this was crazy. I mean, all of the useful things from toothbrush to the thermoflask to the light bulb. I'm not sure about light bulb, but I want an answer from you guys. But I think these are insane. So if there are other British scientists or inventors you think everyone should know, drop their names in the comments. I would love to learn more. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.